Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of West Ham Fan TV's Post Match Pint, the only post match fallout show on the internet, West Ham, whatever. We just obviously watched the West Ham 0 Arsenal 1 game, but I don't know about you lads, but I'm happier than I would be doing a PMP where we've lost to Arsenal in such circumstances, because we've obviously also just watched the Tottenham Leeds game where Leeds got a massive point for us to come back from behind. It looked like when Spurs took the lead, it was over. Leeds come back, get a penalty, a Stonewall pen, and give us some hope, give us some life. Guys, emotions all over the place as a West Ham fan right now.
Yeah, I'm a lot more happier now than I was probably 2 hours ago. And as you said, watching that game was very difficult, especially when Tottenham went 1-0 up. You just think, oh, that's it, it's done. But then Leeds, I've got to give it to Leeds tonight, man. They was a team that they're already safe. But as I said yesterday, Dan, we done our reaction. I thought that Leeds would go there and give them a game. Leeds are not a team that are going to roll over for anyone. Their fans want to allow it, and their manager definitely want to allow it. But I thought Leeds were really good tonight. And I know we're here to talk about West Ham Arsenal, but yeah, nice. It's a good. The thing is, I was just saying to Scott there that if we win now against Newcastle and they lose, we go into that final game of the season with it in our hands. So
yeah,
we're giving ourselves a huge chance here. So let's not. We've done it. We've so many times this season we've been given opportunities and we've thrown it away. Fucking put everything on the line against Newcastle on Sunday, boys. Everything.
Yeah, that would have given us
the heart and soul into that game. Get them 3 points, and we can go back to that London Stadium against Leeds on the final day and hopefully pull off some fucking miracle.
That result would have lifted the players and would have given us a lot of belief, I think, going into Sunday. I think had it been 4 points, I think there would have been a little bit of heads drop, but I think that would have given us that motivation, and the players should be bang up for it. Scott, how are you feeling, mate?
Mate, yeah, as I said, like you guys said, a lot better than I was this morning. You know, it's West Ham losing don't normally affect me, but today's been absolute murder. Absolute murder. Can't get over the fact of what we see yesterday. But you know, Leeds, thank you for doing us a bit of a favour. And like Ryan said, now it's must win. Do the job. You know, we're perfectly capable of beating Newcastle. Newcastle, if you've got any sense of anything, help us out. Send Tottenham down. That's all I can say.
No, we don't need Newcastle. We beat Newcastle like we can't ask Newcastle to roll. Newcastle's not going to roll over for anyone.
Well,
you know, I think that'll be their last home game in front of their home fans this season, I believe. So
Tottenham asked Villa to do it, and Villa, you know, rolled over like a little puppy.
Listen, that's all. I don't buy it. Villa had a semi-final, mate. If any team, if we'd have been in the semi-final, we'd have done the same thing.
No, but it's not. The thing is, right, it's not about the rotation. It's about the application, and that's the difference, right? So I never faulted Villa for rotating their players. It's the fact that the players that they did pick did not put any effort in. And I honestly believe that they've done that because they put pressure on Forest, because Forest will have to play their full strength team, which they didn't, and they still won Forest on Monday. I just thought, and Leeds, nothing to play for, gave an account of themselves. So fair play.
And that's what they
did. Respect to them. Shout out to DL with a £5 super chat. Says that was tense, extra time, 40 minutes. A joke, really. Felt was going to move, was going to give a penalty too on Maddison. Got to go and beat Newcastle. And if Chelsea can win, it like Ryan's in our hands. Yeah, it was a joke.
When that Maddison went down in the box at the end, my heart just stopped, mate. I just fucking thought, this is it. He's going to give it. And then even when you see the replay and you can see he's clearly touched the ball, I thought they're going to show this from a different angle.
Yeah.
To be honest, where did that fucking 13 minutes come from anyway?
Mate, when's the last time you've ever seen that? This season?
When was that? Because that VAR check wasn't that long.
No. Look at yesterday. Arsenal, right? We had the VAR decision for our goal to get ruled out. Not long after that VAR, which they took 5 minutes, the game ended. So how is it that Spurs got all this extra time? It just seemed to be, until Spurs score. And then it ended it was like 15 minutes in the end. It was pathetic. But it nearly backfired on them because Leeds almost got a winner with bloody Longstaff, mate. It was a great save from Kinski.
He had two chances, two huge
Yeah.
chances. Stuffed that one at the back post. But look, I'm not taking nothing away from their guy. That was a great save.
It was,
even though I wanted it to go in and I wanted him to fumble it or whatever. It was a great save. You can't deny that. But look, at a point tonight, obviously we'd love for Leeds to have won, but a point ain't the worst result for us. It might damage them a bit more, because now they've got to play Chelsea away, which Chelsea are going to want to fucking beat them with their rivalry. And then obviously they've got Everton at home on the last game of the season. And the man that most West Ham fans wanted out could turn around to be our saviour, Mr. David Moyes. So, but look, there's a lot of football.
I honestly win both our games and we stay up. I honestly believe that. I think we win our last two and we're up. It's not in our hands, but it kind of is in our hands, in my opinion, that just win those two games.
By the time Tottenham play again, they could be back in the bottom three because they don't play till the Tuesday night. So, now we've just got to hope that we just got to turn up at Newcastle and fucking get that win. Get that win.
That's the key thing now, and as you said, the main thing is win our games, do what we've got to do, forget what else is going on. Do what we've got to do. We're perfectly capable of winning both of them games. I thought we showed enough character and determination against Arsenal to prove that we can get it over the line if need be. But that's just what we got to do. We've got to focus on ourselves, do our thing, and then just pray we get a favour somewhere else along the line.
We're due a win now because it's been a while, isn't it? When was the last time we actually won a game? Like
Everton.
What's that? Everton, Like was Everton? Oh, Everton was after Palace, wasn't it? Sorry, I was thinking it was Palace. Yeah, it was Everton. But it feels like it's been a while. But I think we're due something. And like I said, the performance was there. Even Brentford, I was pissed off with how we responded at 2-0 down to go to 3-0 down. But ultimately, we had chances. And like yesterday, we gave a great performance. So now we just need the goals. We need these goals to come. And I think he's got to start Callum Wilson. I would start him. I know people feel like super sub and that, but the guy's hungry. You can see it. He's so hungry for goals. Stick him up front. He's old club. I mean, that's the way I'd go, mate. Obviously,
just imagine if that goal would have stood yesterday. I mean, I know we're here to talk about yesterday's game. It is post-match point. We spent the first nearly 10 minutes talking about the Tottenham game and that, but the game yesterday, we should have had a draw out of that. We should have. I mean, we've been watching I've seen so many pundits up and down the country. They've all got different views on it. Do you know what the most astonishing thing for me is that I've seen Tottenham fans, and even though we're in a relegation battle with them, I've seen Tottenham fans, ones that are clued up and have got sense. There's not a lot of them, but there are some out there. Even they've turned around and said it should have stood. It was harsh to give that. So it just shows you, doesn't it? I mean, if that was up the other end, they wouldn't even be looking at VAR. That would have been given. So it's look, I've looked at it again and I've seen many angles on this and I've seen different things going on. And look, Pablo, he has got his arm across him. It is a foul on the keeper, but that wasn't the first passage of play. The first passage of play was Trossard fucking grabbing Pablo, who actually pushed Pablo into the goalkeeper, which forces him to knock into Raya. You've got Souček getting manhandled. You've got Mavropanos getting rugby tackled by fucking Rice. So yeah, look, there's a lot of things leading up to that, and look, it is what it is. They've given it. The referees, for me, bottled it. He could have looked at that. I said it yesterday. He could have looked at that and say, okay, yes, that's a foul, but there's a foul there, there's a foul, there's a foul there. 6-1, half dozen the other. Let's fucking move on, give the goal. But he didn't. He bottled it.
I'll be honest, mate. It ain't a foul. Clear and simple, it's not a foul on the goalkeeper. And that's the thing, because if it was at the other end, the goal would be given. And that's the thing that does me in. You've got a team that has constantly all season done exactly the same thing to every goalkeeper they've come up against at every set piece and been awarded goals and not had goals checked with VAR because of it. And it's a goal against them that potentially puts City back in the driving seat of winning the title. And the key thing that you said there, mate, the referee bottled it. The referee should have gone over to that monitor, turned around and said to the VAR, because VAR was looking for a reason not to give the goal. They weren't looking for a reason to give the goal. They were looking for a reason not to give the goal. And like you said, there's 4 or 5 clear fouls for holding in that one passage of play that they could have gone, well, that's a penalty, that's a penalty. But they choose not to. You know,
But this is what I said to them, because they tried to say to me on Sky that, oh, well, the obvious one was the foul on Raya from Pablo. That was the obvious one, so that's why I was ruled out. But I was like, it was so fucking obvious, wasn't it? Well, I didn't say fucking, but it was so fucking obvious that they took 5 minutes to determine it was a foul. So It's not obvious, is it? So just look at everything. You should have said too much is going on. Look, this is happening. This is happening. It's not. I'm just going to leave it as it is. I'm going to stick with my decision because it's hard to determine what's the passage of events. So the goal stands.
Do you know what the thing is, right? Goalkeepers are so protective because a goalkeeper gets a little nudge and they give a free kick. But yeah, you look at Pickford done the other week when he comes flying out of his legs and then he snaps Tatty's leg. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all these Arsenal fans in here saying, "Stop crying, stop crying." Ain't you got nothing better to do on a Monday night than sit here and watch us?
Listen, as I turned around and said, mate, they're all sitting there saying things like that. If it was the other way round and it cost them the league, they'd be sitting there pulling their eyes out.
Babies in the world.
Exactly. Listen, I've listened. You listen to goalkeepers, you listen to pundits who have got sense, unlike people like Martin Keown, who's got no sense apart from he thinks Arsenal's like the best thing since sliced bread. You know, these people have turned around and said the goal should stand. The goal should stand. You know, Keown had his head up his own arse, can't have anything bad said about Arsenal, and you see that all the time, and that's why he gets pulled apart by Simon Jordan week in, week out. And this is the thing. You know, at the end of the day, for football, that goal should have stood. You know, this is one of the worst Arsenal teams that are ever going to win the league if they do end up winning the league, because not one of them players steps foot in the Arsenal teams that have won the Premier League in the past. Not one of them. You know, their star boy Saka was absolutely dog shit. And to be fair,
to be honest, mate, I don't think
they were lucky he was so bad because it was Madueke that come on and caused us loads of problems.
I don't think they're the worst Arsenal team. I don't agree with that.
No, he said it's the worst Arsenal team to win the league.
Yeah, but then you're comparing them to 20 years ago, Scott, when they had the likes of Henri, Bergkamp, Vieira.
These are fans that think half their team could walk into like the best Real Madrid side we've ever seen.
They've been comparing their team against the Man United team that won the Champions League last time with Ronaldo and Rooney and all of them.
Yeah, but
you know,
if they go out and win the Champions League, like if they do win it and they've gone unbeaten, then yeah, they've got all rights to do that. I wouldn't say this is the worst Arsenal team I've seen because this is a team that's been building.
No. The worst Arsenal team, if they win the league, it's the worst Arsenal team to win the Premier League.
Yeah, but how many times they won it? They've only won it 3 times before.
We're still the worst one, though.
He's not technically wrong.
It's 2 different decades, 2 different eras, Scott. You can't compare it.
Well, they unfortunately, mate, that's what they do. They're comparing it. So why can't we?
Yeah. This is the thing. Like,
I get used to. I've got a big hate for Arsenal. I've gathered that over the last 10 years doing this. So, but at the end of the day, I wouldn't say that this is the worst Arsenal. They've only won it 3 times before, so you can't compare it to what the other teams are. As I said, it's 2 different eras. I mean, Arsenal. Look, they've had their luck this season. Of course they have, but they've been top for a long time. They've been fucking top for a long time this season. So you can't say they don't deserve the Premier League.
No, it helps when you cheat your way there and you fall about on the floor, but pretending you're injured and try and time waste. You know, it helps quite a lot when you do that.
They were rubbish yesterday. Do you know what I mean? I thought we were the better team. And that's not me being biased, but I think overall, you know, we create the better chances, to be honest. And you just look at that Fernandes chance. He scores that. We go on to win that game. I truly believe it. And that's a gutter. I've seen some people, and I don't agree with. As an Arsenal fan, go shocking miss, but it was a great save. I don't think you can have a shocking miss and a great save. It's a great save.
The thing is with Fernandes is that he took too long. He thought about it too long instead of just hit it straight away. You know, far corner, it's a goal. and then you find yourself 1-0 up, and then you don't know what's going to happen, do you? We could see out the game, or they could get an equaliser. You don't know, but he should have taken that chance. You don't get many chances in games like this, and it proved it yesterday. Look, after the first 10, 15 minutes, I must admit I was fearing the worst. I thought if Arsenal were on top, if they get a goal, they'll go on and win this 2-3, maybe 4-0. But we soaked up the pressure. And once we got a foot on the ball and we started knocking it about and creating chances, I mean, there's not many clear-cut chances I can remember, but probably the one in the first half was Tatty's header, the diving header where Wan-Bissaka put the ball over. It was a great diving header, but once again, great save from Rayo, and...
Yeah, he was given their man of the match, right? Which sums it up. Their goalkeeper was man of the match. That tells you how good.
He's a great goalkeeper, so it's got to be something special to beat someone like him. And I just thought that we had a bit of luck in the first half when they had to move Rice into right back, because as soon as they'd done that, we had so much space in the midfield, and Rice is never going to catch the likes of Somerville and Tatty when they're running at him. So it played into our hands, and then when they changed the formation in the second half, you can see when Rice is in the middle, they're a better team. He's their best player.
By far their best player. Look, Raya was man of the match. He pulled off key important. So that save from Fernandes was, he done really, really well. He stayed up late. Like you said, he made Fernandes think too much. And I think if Fernandes takes that first time to the bottom right, it goes in. But I think he tried to sort of psych Raya out, and Raya stood strong, and it was a great save. It was a match-winning save. That's how you got to look at it.
I'm just fucking sorry, Scott. I forgot all about it. I've just seen Millwall lost in the playoffs.
Oh yeah. So listen, we just got to stay up. They should keep us up. They should try and cheat to keep us in the Premier League, so we don't face each other, because they don't want us to face each other. They avoid us, make us avoid each other every FA Cup draw. We just miss each other. So for law and order and peace, they need to make sure we stay up.
I thought the thing is as well, Scott. I said it on Friday Night Pint, didn't I? I said I thought we'd go to a back three and bring Tadibo in. Yeah, with Wan-Bissaka on the right. I thought you had to do that, to shore it up a bit, because you could see the way Arsenal were trying to break us down, but we were frustrating them. And I thought Tadibo done well, really, coming in after not playing for so long. He hasn't played that much football lately, but
again, I thought Mavropanos was brilliant again yesterday.
Yeah, mate. Yeah. What a game. If we go down, I'll be gutted to lose him with Hayes. He's been a rock. He's been absolutely brilliant. Love watching him. And Somerville was a handful again. He's not been in the goals lately, but he's still a handful. He still causes problems.
I was just about to say, I thought he grew into the game. I thought he started off, well, he didn't see much of the ball in the first 10, 15 minutes, but I don't think any of our players did, to be honest. But once he got in his stride, he was worrying them. You could see they were backing off and inviting him on. And he had a purple patch earlier in the season, but I still think he's got an important goal in him this season. If it comes on Sunday, or if it comes against Leeds in the last game, then he's got a big fucking say in the rest of this season, I think.
Scott, we spoke a bit about it yesterday. I want to get your thoughts on the Pablo substitution. It seemed a bit bizarre, and a bit to a lot of fans. We were questioning, like, why is he bringing on Pablo? At this point. He made the sub off. Did he take Tatty off for Pablo?
Yeah, Tatty went off for Pablo.
Yeah, and a lot of people was like, bring on Wilson at this point. And he left it late. I mean, what was you thinking at that point? You all right, Scott, you there?
Oh, I thought you said Ryan, sorry.
No, Scott, no, because I'm saying me and Ryan spoke a bit about it yesterday. So I had your opinion.
I'll be honest, mate. I was surprised because we didn't have... Tatty didn't have many chances. We weren't pressing higher. So I was quite surprised that he didn't bring Wilson on at that moment. Because normally when he brings Wilson on, when you've got Tatty up top by himself, we sort of lose that press. And we weren't really pressing that much. And I thought Wilson could have come in. But look, fair credit to Pablo. He was the one that played the 1-2 for Fernandes to go through to have the chance that he done. So he was a bit of an handful for him. A bit more physical than what Wilson is, but the problem is, with Wilson, he's got a goal in him. He proved that again. He got, I think he had 2 opportunities, and scores what should have been the equaliser. Which is a good finish. I think we took a lot of that away from him. because of everything that happened afterwards. But I did find it a bit strange. Pablo, he just hasn't seemed to work out, but he does give you that work rate, and that seems to be what Nuno prefers, the work rate over the finishing of Callum Wilson. But we're now in this situation where we do or die. We know we've been bad over the course of the season. That one result isn't the reason that if we do get relegated, why we're going to get relegated. There's a lot more to look at it. But I think now we need goals, and we need to work out the system that's going to work to get Wilson in this 11, because someone put it in the comments earlier, his goals to minutes ratio, if that one counted, his goals to minutes ratio lately has been superb. And we need goals. Tati was unlucky with his diving header, but we need goals. We don't need unlucky. We need someone who's going to make sure that ball ends up in the back of the net.
And it would be a good thing to start Wilson on Sunday against Newcastle, former club. To go up there, get yourself a goal. But yeah, I mean, look, with Pablo yesterday, one thing that I don't even know why I remembered this from yesterday, but do you remember when he was on the floor and he handballed it?
Yeah.
Like, it weren't his fault. Like, it weren't a penalty. But it's just like, I'm just thinking to myself, like, he come on, he's just causing chaos everywhere, isn't he? But he worked hard yesterday, Pablo. I've been a bit critical of him sometimes, but I thought yesterday he done well when he come on. So I only judge him on game by game, and I thought he done well yesterday. So, but I think Scott's right. We do need someone that scores goals. We need a natural goal scorer, and Callum Wilson's your answer. They say about they can't manage him, he can't play that many minutes. He's got 180 minutes of football left to play this season.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, exactly. And the key component is, mate, in the space of that 180 minutes, even if he only plays an hour in each game, that guy's more of a goal threat and could get you 2 or 3 goals in situations where you need.
He can manage more than being brought on in the 80th minute of what he's been getting. Right, we need to give him more opportunities. Get him on and get that ball in the box. Right, just whatever it takes, get the ball in the box. And just I'm hoping we can start to see Bowen back on the goals. We need him these last 2 games. We really need him to step up.
I thought Bowen played. I thought Bowen was a lot better yesterday than what he has been lately. But he's still got to find that extra 10-20% just to see us through this season. As I said just then, these players have got 2 games left, 2 games to save. Look, there's players in that team. There's 3: Hermansen, Walker Peters and Fernandez that don't want back-to-back relegations on their CVs. So and there's players there as well. Look, Bowen's got a World Cup he wants to get into. There's loads of players there playing for their futures. So let's fucking just do it. Let's just go out there. Look, if we win our next 2 games and we still go down, you hold your hands up. Yeah. You think, right, it's a 38 game season. We've lost 18 games. You can't. There's other things to look at. But if they go out and get these 6 points, I agree with what you said, Dan. I think if we get 2 wins, we stay up.
Yeah. I think it is as simple as that. So, I mean, it just starts with Newcastle. People say he can't beat Newcastle. Newcastle have been out of sorts. They've not been in the best form. They're kind of on the beat. All their eyes are to next season, right? Everything's about next season. What's happened to the manager? New players coming in. Reset. This season hasn't been great for them, so they're all right. Let's go again. So for us, it just listen. They're at home. They're going to want to win in front of their fans. I'm not saying that, but for us, it's so much more important. We can win this game. We're capable of winning this game. We've got to create the chance. We've got to take our chances. And I'm confident in the defense. I have the confidence in the defense. It's the attack that needs to step up and bang the goals. Because I just think if we win that, it sets a marker.
It'd be interesting to see what he does on Sunday, whether he sticks to the same team and plays that back 3, because it's a big pitch at St James's Park. So if we can get Diouf and Wan-Bissaka up and down, find that little bit of space. Somerville will have so much space. It's whether he just wants to risk it or go back to the back 4 and just put the extra man up top or in midfield. So it's a big decision for Nuno. It's what he's paid for. It's what he's paid to do.
Listen, I said, I think, I'm a big critic of Nuno, but I think he got the starting 11 spot on yesterday. I really did. I think it was the right thing to do with going to the back 5 to try and suppress the Arsenal, they saw a lot of the ball, but we made them, when they did break us down, they had to work hard for it. It wasn't like we were giving them chance after chance. The only thing that let us down a bit yesterday, we didn't retain the ball that well. We a lot of first headers. It took us at least 15, 20 minutes to sort of then start getting on the second ball. And that was a big problem for us, something that we can't afford to do against Newcastle or Everton. We need to win our individual challenges, which we didn't do, especially in that first 20 minutes of that game yesterday. And the distribution from the keeper and out from the back just gave the ball to Arsenal. There was no real respite. We didn't really, when we did get hold of the ball, we had a little bit time of possession. We did cause them problems, but it was few and far between. And, look, as we said, Arsenal, they are where they are because, as much as we give them stick and all that, they are where they are because they can play, and it's not always pretty, but they do what needs to be done. And, we gave them a lot of the ball, but made the chances that they had. But I think most of their chances were outside the box. That's how well we actually defended. I think there was three shots that Saka sent flying over from about 20 yards out, something like that, And as I said, it wasn't until the Madueke come on and caused more problems down that left side for Diouf that they started getting the ball into the box and causing us a bit more of a threat. So, the game plan worked. And it was just unfortunate, really, the way it panned out that we didn't get the goal that Fernandes had that chance. So
we could have rolled over yesterday. You know what I mean? We could have rolled over like we had the last couple of seasons against Arsenal, but there was a little bit of fight in that yesterday. And I think like Tottenham would have been watching that yesterday and thinking we got to beat Leeds tonight, because if West Ham can pull out a performance like that against Newcastle and Leeds, they're more than likely to get 2 wins if we play like that.
Yeah, and that's the thing. That is exactly what what we need to do. We need to play like that. We need to. But I think someone's put it there. A bit more risk. That's what we need.
Yeah, 100%. Shout out to Jamie, £2 super chat. We'll say one thing this year has battered my hairline. Me too, mate. Me too.
Yeah, Dan had a mullet in August.
Yeah, I'm with you, mate. Yeah, like I said, we go on. We take massive positives. We've been given another lifeline, and we just got to take it and run with it. To be honest, and look, it would have been a completely different feel with Spurs won today, and I think that would have been it. But,
if Spurs would have won, I think this would have been a different feeling on tonight's show. But you can tell just by us three and the people in the chat, there's a bit of positive. People are a bit more positive now, thinking that we do need obviously Chelsea to do us a favour, and Everton, of course. But if Chelsea, beat Tottenham and we win at Newcastle, going to that London Stadium against Leeds, knowing it's in our hands, I'd rather be at home, than away.
Yeah.
And we've got, apart from obviously losing to Arsenal yesterday, that was our first defeat there in 4 months.
And it was still a good performance.
And it was a good performance, and we're getting a bit of momentum going at the London Stadium. But let's just hope. Look, we've got a job to do on Sunday. It'll be interesting to see what we'll be talking about on the match reaction and PMP after the Newcastle game.
Yeah, that's it, mate. That's the key thing, And the mad thing is, when you look at the stats, I think Tottenham's stats at Chelsea at Stamford Bridge are awful, but Everton's stats at Tottenham are awful. So, I think Spurs are going to be looking at like Chelsea will be a very tough game, but they're going to fancy themselves against Everton.
The only thing is with me, like with Chelsea, is they're playing the FA Cup final on Saturday.
Yeah,
and I'd rather them have not been playing the FA Cup final. Do you know what I mean? Because
I think for us, right, I think we need them to lose that so that they have to qualify via the league for Europe.
Yeah.
And not only that. Yeah, I mean, and then obviously they've got Everton who are going for Europe still, so they've got 2 difficult games. Look, and we've got 2 difficult games. Leeds tonight showed me that we're going to have a difficult game at London Stadium. They're not going to want to roll over for us. So it's going to be 2 difficult games. It's going right down to the wire. And let's be honest, if you'd have offered this position in January, we probably all would have took it because we all thought we was down in January. We couldn't see a win.
Mm-hmm.
I think
late
that's
December.
Oh yeah. Like the problem is though, like for me, if we do end up going down the last game of the season, I think I would have preferred to have gone down like to ages because it hurts more. Like when we thought we were done after the Forest game, I had this weird sense of peace and calm over me. Like that's it, it's done. And then they suck you back in and make you believe. And then
the players probably thought that as well. And when they relaxed and started actually playing football, we started picking up results. So
maybe it's better for us not to be the chasers and not to be the hunters and not the hunted, to be the ones that aren't above it, and we've got that expectation of shit that Spurs are coming at us, but we're coming from behind, we're chasing them, and now
if we beat Newcastle on Sunday and Tottenham lose, we go into that final game of the season at the bottom three, which is where you want to be. And then we just got to, But look, there's a lot of
it's all guns blazing if that's the case.
Yeah.
Right? All guns
blazing. Then we would just have to get a point and hope and Spurs not win. Because if we got a point on the last day and they got a point, we stay up.
Yep.
But I think we lose and they get a point.
I think we've got to go all 3 points because I think.
We've got to go for the win. But the thing is, it gives us more possibilities there. It gives us a little bit more of a wider margin for error. That is not like. Do you know what I mean? We have to win. Spurs have to lose.
Yeah, I get what you mean. I mean, how ironic would it be though if David Moyes was to do us a favour and keep us up? I think they should definitely build a statue for him at London Stadium.
I'll be the first one to sign the petition. I tell you that for free. And this, I know Everton don't have the best record, but this is a hungry Everton team. It's a very good Everton team. They've got a good record on the road.
Once again, Tottenham haven't won at home since I think the 6th of December. That was the last time they won at home.
Was it 6th?
I can't remember, but they haven't won at home for so long. And then even tonight, like you look at the Brighton game, they 2-2. They threw that one away. Even tonight, they could have lost that game easily tonight. Leeds could have won it. So there's just that hoodoo at home in there. So we got to hope that Everton go there, play their football. Everton are going for European football, so we just got to keep our fingers crossed. But look, we've got a job to do. Let's just worry about doing our job. As long as we get our job done, it'll work out all right.
Yeah, 100%.
That's all we can ask for, mate. It's just we go out there and saying the same attitude and the same resilience we saw against Arsenal into the last 2 games. A bit better finishing, and we can do it. That's how I look at it. We can do it. It's where we want to be in our hands. That's all we've got to worry about. Do our bit, and then if they mess up, they mess up. They don't. But at least you can stand there and say, in the last breach of the season, we gave it our all.
But someone's just said get positive Pat out. I mean, if we stay up, I'll dress up as Pat Butcher on the final FMP of this PMP of the season. I promise you, I'll have a dress on. I'll have earrings. I'll have fucking necklace. I don't even know where she's gone. She's got to be around here somewhere. The old little saucy minx,
mate. Honestly, that'll be something. We'll have a big celebration if we stay up. I tell you that much. It'll be so good to send them down after the arrogance. Shout out to E20's own TV. Just win at Newcastle and hope. Yep, set that marker down. Let's just forget about. Let's not even think about Leeds. Win that game in front of us,
mate. We're all hoping for that, mate. Win at Newcastle. It's going to be
final at a time.
What time is it? It's a 5:30 kickoff.
5:30 kickoff on a Sunday. Yeah.
Makes it random, isn't it? That
it is, isn't it? But it's like we played 4:30. It's like I just want to get the game past and over.
I'm coming home from a wedding that day, so it gives me plenty of time to get home.
Yeah, come on,
settle the nerves. I might even might go down the pub and have a couple of drinks. It's going to be fucking nerve wracking.
Yeah. Oh,
very
mate.
mate.
Well,
Very nerve-wracking.
Listen, in the meantime, do check out OK Jerseys. All 3 of these shirts are available on there. Get your retros. We've got 90s, late 90s, noughties, and current. So go get them in. before they run out, and then the next stock will come in for next season. Hopefully, they're Premier League shirts that we get next season on OK Jerseys. But do check out the website. Use code Nicky for 10% discount. It is. I put the 8% up, but I believe they're still offering the 10% if you use code Nicky. So big shout out to OK Jerseys. Check them out. Good stuff. And listen, you can go check out the hate along I did on Lawless Live. Go check out the reactions to the goals. I was promised a backflip if Leeds scored an equaliser, and part of me, my neck is probably thanking that they didn't, or a winner. Sorry, if they scored a winner, people was like, do a backflip. I was like, I'll do a backflip, and thank God.
I don't think you should be doing it. I don't think you should be allowing any more backflips on your watch-alongs, Dan. After that picture I sent earlier.
Oh my God. I want to apologise for everyone who saw Jason's crack on the watch along yesterday with his pink fucking pants on. That's stuff of nightmares, that is. But yeah, listen. Yeah, I'm glad this has the happier feel to the show, lads. So
I feel a lot more positive than I did 2 hours ago. You know, it's just that it gives us that little bit of hope. You got to have hope. If you haven't got hope, you might as well give up. So let's just hope that these boys now just pull something out of the bag on Sunday. Please. I don't care if it's a 1-0 win. I'd love to see a convincing, comfortable 3-0 win, but a 1-0 at 91st minute Souček header will do me.
Yeah.
That is the other thing. Leeds had injuries today, so that's another thing. If Leeds had their players, I know Spurs had injuries, but this is the Spurs that we're dealing with. Like, they've got the players they've got in the relegation battle. So I'm just saying.
I still stick to what I said. I think losing some of their players has done them a bit of a favour because they've got players who have got a bit of fight about them.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy to say that, you know, when they look at it on paper, their best players, most of their best players are out. But
you can tell
have got fight.
Yeah. You can tell how desperate they're getting when they've had to bring Maddison on because they probably didn't want to bring him on this season. Obviously, he's had this long injury. I didn't realise he'd been out for over a year.
Yeah.
So
and he was poor. You could tell he's been out for a while.
Yeah, it's good to see him back, though. He's always a player that I've liked. So it's good to see him back playing football again. You don't wish anyone a longer injury like that. But, yeah, I mean, it's going to the wire, boys. It's going to the wire.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. That last game of the season, mate, is going to be hell. Following by,
I'm going to be in the stadium that day. I don't know whether I want to go now if it goes down to that. I'll be standing right in front of Scott as well. Scott, I'll be grabbing you like when Callum Wilson scored that winner against Everton. I'll be dragging you over the rows again.
Do you know what? Right, the thing I hate about what happened yesterday, the atmosphere when that ball went in from Wilson. You know, it was brilliant. You know, it was what football. It was what for. It was. Me and Graham were talking earlier, and we said that was a good advertisement for the Premier League to show how competitive the Premier League can be. That the team that are top, you know, concede a late equaliser to a team that's fighting against relegation. Shows you how tough the Premier League is as a league to win it. You know, and that type of thing. And it was just unfortunate it was overruled, but you know, up until that point, it was like a good advertisement for the league, I think. But you know,
I tell you what, by the way, just to give you an insight into our Spurs fans, I've seen a lot of Spurs fans and Spurs fans, other creators, basically feeling like they've blown it, like that was it. You know, this is a Spurs fan. I'm close to tears, man. That feels pivotal. Like it feels to them like a turning point. Like, I mean, shit.
Yeah, I do get that, but they're still in the better position because they're a point ahead. And they're at the bottom three. So I'd rather be in their position than our position.
Yeah.
So
but I would feel the same way if I was in their position. Like
I felt that after Brentford. I felt like that after Brentford. When we lost that game against Brentford, I thought when I looked at the run that we had, I thought Brentford was one that we could go and get a result. And look, as you said, we played well. Mm-hmm. You know, we played well, but we ended up losing 3-0. It wasn't a 3-0 game, but yeah, we just collapsed. But someone said, Tottenham would swap our fixtures if they could? Yeah, they probably could because they know Chelsea, for them, they don't do well at Stamford Bridge. I think they've only won there once in fucking how long? About 20 years.
I think it is.
Yeah, it's fucking mad, their record
Once
now.
in I think it's once in 40 years, yeah, or something mad.
It just worries me because Chelsea they're not great either.
No.
You know, that's the thing.
But Chelsea, do you know the only thing with Chelsea, Scott, I would say is they've got good individual players that can win a game.
Well, yeah, and normally, even with this poor side, normally the Chelsea Spurs game is very feisty. So
yeah, Cole Palmer, you know, he hasn't been great this season, but you know
he looked better against Liverpool.
Yeah, and then obviously, like their fans ain't gonna let their players fucking roll over in this game.
They'll be bang up.
There's hatred in this, and they'll want to be the team. I mean, Chelsea will have about 5 or 6 weeks ago. We were looking at his fixture, thinking we could send them down on that day. Obviously, they can't now, but
they can play a big part in it. They can play a bloody big part. In it.
Huge part. Huge part.
Shout out to Lewis. Sorry, mate.
Go on,
what did you say?
No, I was going to say, what do West London love more, East or North?
Surely it's got to be East, isn't it? It's got to be East. East versus West. Shout out to Lewis for the $5 Australian. Cheers, mate. I was at peace in January about potentially going down. And now it's the hope that might kill us all. Oh, well, win, lose, or draw, up or down. Come on, you Irons. Well said. And listen, that's probably the best way to end it, mate. That's very well said. Appreciate you. So yeah, listen, go check out the fan cams if you ain't already. A lot of good interviews. Big Dave done them. Like I said, you can go check out the highlights of the watch along or the hate along. And back this week, look out for the relegation show. We'll see what them two Spurs clowns say on the channel. And Wolfie obviously will be crowing because Forest are safe. So listen, happy hammers today. A lot different than yesterday. So good stuff, guys. Anything else? Any last words?
No, we go again on Sunday.
We go again. Big game. Come on, you.